We want to bring in a Super Bowl champion, one of the guys I love to watch play at linebacker with the Seahawks long time, with the Raiders free agent right now, doing a lot of great stuff. Mr. KJ Wright. KJ, what's up, man?
What's up, fellas? How y'all doing?
Good. Doing great, man. I appreciate you joining us. A lot of stuff going on as we get ready for the draft. The season will be here before you know it. You know that better than anybody. But where I want to start with everything that's going on, and we're going to get to Deebo Samuel in a minute, but Baker Mayfield, KJ, is very interesting to me. You look at the market for quarterbacks right now. We've seen a lot of movement this offseason. You look at the draft, not a lot of people are super fired up about the quarterback draft class right now in the NFL. When you look at Baker Mayfield, number one, what do you think about him as a player? And number two, what do you think is a likely destination or maybe the best fit for him moving on?
The thing with Baker is that when things go bad, I don't know who I'm getting as a quarterback. I believe with Baker, he needs to hit the red button when it comes to checking in on his mentals. Like when things go, you can't just start getting media, start tweeting back at fans and all this stuff. He has all the talent, but mentally he's kind of struggling a little bit. And so I love his talent and where he's going to end up. I don't think that there's any trade value for him. I believe he needs to sit behind a good quarterback, learn what it's supposed to look like, and just hit the reset button.
Mm-hmm. I wonder, too, sometimes if he kind of lost a little bit of that chip on his shoulder kind of coming out. You remember he was a walk-on that transferred, then won the Heisman. I'm going to prove everybody wrong that says I'm too small. You're the number one draft pick. I wonder if he's lost that a little bit. But kind of switching up. You know, I'm looking, you've played against the best of the best in the NFL and looking at it from a division standpoint. KJ, I'm looking at the AFC West right now, and I'm looking at the quarterbacks alone in that league and what else has been added. I mean, Justin Herbert and the Chargers, adding who they've added. Russell Wilson going to the Broncos. We know the Chiefs, what they have with the witch that is Patrick Mahomes, even though Tyreek Hill isn't there. And that's not even mentioning, the Raiders as well with Derek Carr adding Devontae Adams. Is this the best division, at least before the season, that you've seen in a long time?
In a long time, yes. When I was with Seattle, we had the Rams, who were always good in my eyes. And you had Carson Palmer with the 49ers. And but this division, quarterback speaking and offensively speaking, I believe in my 11 years is the best that I've seen. I had the honor to play with Russell. Patrick Mahomes put up 40 points on us twice this past season. You get Derek Carr and Devontae Adams to get that thing going in Vegas. I believe that offensively, it's going to be primetime football. And so it's going to be really fun to watch. Right now, I have the Raiders as the best team in that division.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I got Raiders as number one in that division. And so it's going to be really fun to watch and see how those quarterbacks compete against each other and try to see how those defenses, try to slow the offense down.
So you think Derek Carr can be a Super Bowl championship quarterback with the Raiders? I know adding Devontae is a big piece. Yes. They played together in college. But you think Derek Carr is a Super Bowl style winning quarterback, I guess is the best way to put it.
Well, having the opportunity to play with Derek Carr, he can be offensive MVP. He can be a Super Bowl champion. You look at the talent he has around him. Don't forget Darren Waller. Don't forget Hunter Renfrow. Bringing in Josh McDaniels, who has a blueprint to get into the Super Bowl. And so Derek Carr has all the tools. He has all the confidence. I had the opportunity to watch him have a few game-winning drives to lead us to the playoffs this past season. And so he has all the tools to get it done. And I got the Raiders winning the division.
Yeah. Nice. Blaine, if Boots Club has any questions, get them hot over there. Coney, what you got?
I want to piggyback off the quarterback question here, but I want to expand beyond just one division. You've had the opportunity to play against arguably 3 to 5 of the greatest quarterbacks ever to play the game. Who was the most difficult to play against and why?
It's not even close, and it's Tom Brady. It's just his mentality. Right now he's 40 plus. He just has 15, 20 years of just NFL experience on a lot of guys in this league. And so there's nothing you can throw at him that he hasn't seen. There's no blitz that he hasn't seen. And even when he's rattled, he doesn't fade. He doesn't get rattled. We was up by him in the Super Bowl by 2 touchdowns in the second half. And when you have our defense with the Legion of Boom and our pass rush, you expect us to win that ball game 9 out of 10 times. But this man just kept his poise. He took his time, just drove it down the field, getting the win. And so I played Peyton Manning, Patrick Mahomes, but Tom Brady's number one.
Wow. So what do you expect from Tampa Bay now that Brady's going to come back this season?
Anytime Brady's at the quarterback, they have an opportunity to win the Super Bowl. I thought they was going to go last year. And just what he brings to the table, that offense, they're going to find a way to be in an NFC Championship game again. and the team has got to outscore them, get to the Super Bowl.
No doubt.
Well, KJ too, and I'm kicking to Blaine in a second, but talking with some guys in the league, I asked them kind of what separates Tom Brady and maybe a couple other guys from the others. And an answer I get a lot with not only Tom Brady, but Peyton Manning as well, is we all know that quarterbacks and OCs are the greediest people on the planet. That's just how they are. They don't want to throw the check down the whole way. They don't want to throw the hitch the whole way. They'll get a little fancy with the RPOs, but they want to hit the home run. They want to push the ball down the field. But they told me that Tom and Peyton were the only two guys really that didn't care. They would nickel and dime you down the whole field for the whole game. Is that a true statement?
And that's why I hate it. That's why I mean, Drew Brees was someone that was excellent at that as well. You could drop back. If it's not there, let me get 5-6 yards by my running back and keep these chains moving. And so really frustrating by our defense because we always preach defense. Stay on top.
Yep.
Eliminate the explosive plays. Keep everything in front of you. But when they check it down and their running backs get you in the open field, they can also create some big explosive plays. And so these quarterbacks, they know what they're doing, and it's all mental. It's all mental with these guys, and you can mentally beat defenses. You got a really good chance.
Yeah. Well, hell, James White's made a career out of doing it. And one of the greatest sayings I think in football is, you never go broke making a profit. I think they both implement that pretty well. What you got?
For sure. Hey, KJ, appreciate you coming on the show. Made a lot of plays with you and Bobby Wagner on Madden. I'm going to tell you that right now. Yeah. But hey, what's your thought? Because it seemed to be somewhat of an even split here. What's your thought on the new overtime rules?
How's it go? Refresh, because it's one with the regular season, it's one with the playoffs, right?
Mm-hmm. So I believe in the playoffs, each team will get a possession in the playoffs.
Yep.
Just keep it the same. I do. Yeah. Here's the thing, defensively speaking, I don't like the rule. I don't believe that both quarterbacks should get the ball. If we can drive down and I can get a touchdown on you, then you guys should be able to win the game. If I say you hold it to a field goal as a defensive player, next team, you got to either get a field goal or a touchdown. And so, in my eyes, if you could drive down 80 yards and score a touchdown on me, then you got the right to win the ball game. That's me as a defensive player.
Yeah.
But from a fan standpoint, I believe everybody wants the Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes go back and forth. But I was looking like they need to stop them. What are they doing? Yeah. And so, the rule is always we want to get the fans happy, keep the ratings up. And so I definitely get it.
Yeah, love that. All right, hey, news just broke. Deebo Samuel wants out of the 49ers. Where do you think would be the best landing spot for basically the entire offense from the 49ers that has Deebo Samuel?
Here's the thing. This is all smoke and mirrors. Deebo is not going anywhere. What I'm looking at is they were in contract negotiations. And here's the inside, fellas. Teams get real disrespectful when it comes to negotiating these contracts.
Yep.
They could have threw out a 4-year, $70 million contract to Deebo. To y'all that, that sounds really good, but he's looking like, I need 100 plus, like what Tyreek got, what Devontae Adams got. And so things can get really emotional. Things can get tense. And so you just need to calm down. You're not going anywhere. You literally are the best offensive player, or the second best offensive player on that team. Everything will handle itself, and this contract going to get done.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Obviously, it's gone all over the internet. We talked about yesterday, too, players removing the team, what team they play for from their profile. It's kind of a new tactic, new negotiating tactic.
Social media era, man. It's something else.
It is.
It's toxic.
It's actually, from a player's perspective, it's pretty smart, too, if you think about it, because everybody freaks out. You remember when Kyler Murray took all the Arizona Cardinal stuff off his? You'd have thought somebody was invading us from the north, the way people
It's almost like the version of breaking up with somebody through a text.
Yeah.
It's basically the version of that.
Yeah. Those ones typically don't come back. But, KJ, we got 2 new leagues coming. One's already started, the USFL. You got the XFL coming. There's some beef between the two, which sign me up for that. I'm so here for it. I think this may be the chicken sandwich wars of the sports realm, I guess, like we used to see on the commercials. Do you think the USFL or the XFL, one or the other or both, will have a chance to have lasting power? We've kind of seen this movie before. That's a tough mountain to climb.
It would not be both. That's for sure. That's a lot of football. I had to pick when both of them came out. I love XFL more than USFL because Seattle had a team and I had a chance to see them up close and personal. But 2-3 professional teams in football, that's gonna be hard to do. And so it just goes to show you guys, how hard it is to get to the NFL. And there's a lot of talent in both those leagues. but I believe only one could stand. If I had to put my finger on it, XFL.
Wow. Yeah, I agree
doubt
with you
the Rock.
100%.
We'll see.
That's what I talked about.
USFL had a strong debut.
Yeah, they can, but that XFL, they can go out in the fringe a little bit. They can do more stuff.
And they have The Rock, too.
Yeah,
And they
never
got
doubt the Rock.
Never doubt The
KJ,
Rock.
I want to take it to the college front for a minute. Actually, you and I were almost teammates at Mississippi State because Coach Kroom and Coach Beamer sure can recruit, all right? But, you played in the Senior Bowl. All right, I want to talk to you about what was that experience like? We have the draft coming up. How did the Senior Bowl help bridge college to the NFL, and how was your value? What was the value add for you as you were entering that NFL draft?
Fun. When you go to the Senior Bowl, that's your first opportunity to see what the NFL is like. They give you the playbook. They put you through a practice, and you get an upfront meet with the head coach and position coaches. So it was a really fun experience. When I was there, I had Von Miller, Colin Kaepernick was there. You get to mingle and talk to the fellas. But it can also, if you don't go in there correct, it can also mess up your draft stock as well. Mm-hmm. This was my first time as a professional player where I should have said no to the coaches. They wanted me to go down there and play defensive end. Like I'm a linebacker.
Yeah.
And so I had to go one-on-one and do rush against offensive tackles, and I got absolutely embarrassed. And one of my coaches in Seattle, he was like, when you did that, your draft stock went from to about here. So it's something that could really help your draft stock, but can also lower it as well.
That's a tough situation because you don't want to appear to be uncoachable, but at the same time, if you know what's best for you, that's tough.
You got to say in the back of my mind, I'm just like, I don't want to do this, but you got to be coachable. You got to say yes and go out there to do the best you can.
No doubt. Sure. It's like it says linebacker. I'm behind the line. I'm not on the end of the line or on the edge of the line. That's not totally different positions too. That's why it's always amazing to see the guys that can play the jacks and can do a little bit of both from the eye level of getting back there and coming up. It's always interesting to see. But KJ, talk a lot of football before we let you go. Got a little hoops game in Olive Branch, little charity hoops game. Yeah. Tell everybody about that.
So I was a dual sport athlete back in Olive Branch, Mississippi, played both basketball and football. Mm-hmm. And this summer, June 24th, I'm getting all the fellas back in our hometown to raise money for Olive Branch basketball team. And so it's guys from class of about 1990 to about 2013 that's be playing in this basketball game. We got a 3-point contest, dance team there, the alumni cheerleaders gonna be there. So it's really fun to get everybody back and raise money for the community.
Definitely, man. Well, KJ, I appreciate it, brother. We got to get you back on again soon. Good luck to you and great stuff, man.
I enjoyed it. Thank you, fellas.
Appreciate it. Thank you, man.
It. Great stuff there. Yeah, great stuff there with KJ Wright. Going to be interesting, player. Too. The Deebo perspective was interested. When it came out and said he was going to move, everybody's going to talk about the teams and where he's going to go. But the possibility of him staying with the 49ers is something you got to look into as well. It might be a little bit of give and take here. Hey, if you like what you heard and you want to hear more, go on over to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher. Check out Crain & Company live every day from 2 to 3 Central, where you can hear us spit it straight.